I'm back on Wrinehill again. The double swim's free again, so I'm going to jump on that again, even though it's a bit supposed to be 40 mile an hour winds this weekend, and it's a bit open here, but I fancy that spot again what had that action off last week. It's not very often this peg's free, so I might as well take advantage while I can. There's 8 booked on. There's already 3 here, but they're all on the first side over there with the I don't think anybody, we've talked to 2 of them, and one lost one last night, peg 1. Never seen anybody fishing peg 1 before, but they lost one last night. Talking to the other lad, he's couldn't look all over this open water. He said it's not seen nothing. I'm just going to have a quick walk down into the other bay now. I put my bucket on this one there. I'll have a quick walk down into the other bay there on the way back to the van. And if nothing catches my eye, then I'm definitely jumping on this swim. It's going to rain all weekend. 40 mile an hour winds. And I've gone and forgot my waterproofs. So it's going to be a damp weekend, I think. Just got my golfing umbrella. Right, go and get the gear now and catch you in a bit. I'm just stood in peg 12, looking at the back bay at the back of the island. Been here about 10-15 minutes now, and I've actually seen 2 fish show right in front of peg 15 in the slack water at the back of the island. They didn't look big, but after talking to that lad over there, he said he's not seen anything, and he's been on. I don't know how many nights he's been on, but it was on last night definitely. And he's not seen anything, and I've seen 2 within 10 minutes here now. So, and the wind's zacking down this way. Just wondering, are they all in this corner? I'll have a walk right to 15 now, and probably another 10-15 minutes there and have a look. But the only problem with that swim is there is another 4 anglers due on. So, presuming if I leave the double swim, one of them will drop in that at least. So that'll leave 3, because there's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 swims in this little back bay. And if it becomes too busy down here, then I think they'll all fire off. And that peg 15, you've not got a lot of water there. It's probably the least amount of water on the lake. Well, that's where they're showing. But I'll have a walk round now. I've been round this side now about 20 minutes. I heard one more show, just on the corner of the island. I don't know, it could have been a park striking, but there was definitely a big crash right on the corner of the island, so I don't know what to do there. My gut's telling me to go on a double swim, fish that spot from last week. But my eyes are telling me to come round here. And my brain's telling me to go home and get my fucking waterproofs. I don't know what to do now. The only thing what's pulling me off here, obviously, there is fish here, obviously, but the only thing what's pulling me off now, the other 4 anglers, 4 anglers what are due on. If one drops in 12 and then one drops in 14, I'm just going to get cut off in this corner here. It'll be a nightmare then. It's allowing me moving tomorrow in the rain. But then again, I did say to myself when I started fishing here that I'll fish every swim to get my head around the lake. I've not fished this one yet, so I don't know what to do. I'll leave it there now. You'll find out where I am on the next catch up. I've dropped in 15. When I went back round from it to get my bucket off the double swim, I did stand there for another 10 minutes or so, but never saw anything, so it seems stupid to ignore these fish what are showing here. There's nothing. There's been one what looked pretty decent. I've seen 5 shows now, by the way. It's been number 2 since I've set the baby up. One looked, it only stuck its head out, but it looked decent. But the others have only been small, like low doubles, I'd say. But to be honest with you, I just want to fish out of here now, just to get the duck over, and then. But it's stupid. It's daft to ignore these fish in front of me, you know. Even if I have to move tomorrow, if they move off or I get cut off. Let's say I've never fished this swim before, so I don't know what the bottom's like. I don't know the depths. So I'm gonna get the rods out now, and just have one chuck with a burr lead, just to gauge what I can do out there. Don't want to be spooking them off now they're here. I'm still in my whip close, so I'll get everything, get the spot sorted now and get all my rods sorted out. While I can get these whip claws wet, and then I'll get changed into my dry stuff and see if we can get ourselves a cat. See you later. Rods right now. Well, they've been out for about an hour. I've had liners on both rods. I've chucked them probably about 30 yard out and about 10 yard apart, and then just put a spread of boilies all over that area. I just thought rather than just have one spot, I'll just spread them about, because there is fizzing showing everywhere. Fizzing again there now. They look more like tench. Fizzes, to be honest with you, but I've not seen any tench rolling, but I have seen carp rolling, so let's see what happens. I'll go give it a couple of hours like that now. I've just got the wafter rig on both of them, and I put a little bag of micro pellets just hooked onto the hook. Let's see, micro pellets won't last long, I don't think, with all the silvers, but see if we gain a tangle. I put a bit of bait down at the bottom even there, but the ducks have just found it. Keeping them off me other bait anyway. So we'll give it a couple of hours there now and see what happens, and then maybe send the boat out and go a bit closer to the trees. See you in a bit. It's 9 o'clock now. Beginning to think I've dropped a bollock not going on the double swim, because Sunday's moved in peg 12, Sunday's moved in peg 15. And since they've come I've not seen nothing. I think I've had one lana. They've definitely gone. I have moved onto spots now. I've found a spot just at the back of a wee bed, 5 foot of water. Put quite a bit of boilie over that one, and my other one's just round the back of this tree here now. Just sent the boat round the tree. Put that over vertical. I've had quite a few knocks on that, but I think it's just roaching that, picking the vertical up. See what happens, and then might be a move tomorrow, I think. If nothing happens, I shall see you in the morning. Morning. Quiet night last night. Just the old lana. There's been quite a bit of fizzing this morning, but I don't know what they're like. I don't know what to do now. It's 7:30 now. I've got till 10 o'clock to decide whether to move swims or not before anybody who's booked on today can come on. Have another brew now, have a bit of breakfast, and then that line of rods and then go and have a walk, I think. Just going to be gutted if the lad on the double swims had a fish. Quick catch up. I had a walk round. There's been one fish out off the double swim. A koi, a low double koi, nice fish though. The lad on peg 5 is gone, but he's not had anything. He's the lad I spoke to yesterday and said he hadn't even seen anything. But I stood on that swim for probably about 10 minutes or something, never saw anything. And then I was walking round, carried on walking round, and as I was going past the trees, so you can't see the lake, I heard a fish crash. So when I came to the double swim, talking to the lad who's on there, he said it was in peg 5 where the fish came out. So pondering then whether to move into peg 5 or not. But then I came down to peg 12, which is opposite me. Talking to that lad over there, he's had nothing. And whilst talking to him, a fish came out twice on my right hand spot. Typical, innit, when there's no rods in. So I've decided to stay here now. I've got the rods back out again. The right hand rod, what was over where the fish showed, within a couple of minutes of being in there, I had a proper liner on it. But then my left hand rod, which I moved a bit where it was fizzing this morning, I moved it to there. That ripped off, well, I won't say ripped off, it was like a twitchy take. Eeked into it and it was like head shaking and just started carting left and then came off, but it felt more like a tench. So that's back out on the spot now, but at least I'm having a bit of action now, so I keep getting the odd little single beep. So I think I'm plan today is just keep doing every hour. I'm just going to keep baiting, just see what happens, see if they'll come back into this area now. I've seen that one, it was the same fish, came out twice. So, and then early on this morning, one in peg 13 came out, so there's still fish in this area. Like I said, the lad on 15's gone now. I was talking to the lad on 12, he's contemplating moving. So if he moves, I'll add this to myself out, but let's see what happens. Yeah, have another brew and tie a few rigs for something to do.
I'm just calling to say I am so troubled by the soul of mine. I've said those words so many times. I need you in this life.
Quick catch up. It's 7:30 now. It's done nothing but hammer down all day. So I couldn't do any catch up because you want to be here. It was raining that hard. Raining that hard that you're praying that you don't get a take, especially when you've got no waterproofs. I've had one. There's a couple of carp showed right outside of a snag, just off the island. So I've had I sent the boat over and dropped one probably a foot away from the snag. It's all locked up, but if it goes left, it'll go in the snags anyway. But obviously I'm not going to leave it there tonight. So I have been feeding the spot where I had the tench from, the tench take. Well, presuming it was a tench. I've been feeding that all day just with a catapult. So I'm going to give it another hour there now on the snag, and then I'll move that one over where I've been feeding. And my right hand rod, but I had at the back of this bush. That bush, just around the back of the bush there. I've moved that out. The lad who was on 12, he's moved further along into the channel. And I think that's where he's gone. He was walking his gear, so he's not gone far. So I've got this old bear to myself now. So hopefully, well, there has been a few showing, just all over the place. But I've moved it out into the deeper water, getting like 10 foot in the deep. I was sending the boat over. I was going over towards the weed on the far side, but as it was going over, bing, 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 it was beeping away the fish finder, and it was all in the deep water. But there was on a small out. They looked like tench. But I fucking dropped it there anyway. I dropped it, and then the boat's still on the surface. I'm setting my bobbin, got it all set, and then picked my boat up. And as I started driving it back, my bobbin dropped like a drop back. Fucking hell, it must be hooked onto the boat. So I turned the boat around and went away, drove away, and obviously the bobbin just stayed on the floor. So I picked it up and felt a little tug, and then it was off. But it didn't even feel like a tench. It felt more, I don't know, something even smaller like. But something had picked it up, and it had literally been in 10 seconds, something like that, before it dropped back. But it's back on that spot now. I've had uh, 2 llamas on it, but I'm same again. I'll move that back onto this other spot here. I've been feeding it from the other side of the bush there. Supposed to be well, it's low pressure. We've got a southwesterly blowing, or more south than westerly, but and it's a new moon, so everything's looking good. So I'm quietly confident, but when it's going into your 10th night with it to fucking fish, you start thinking it's not going to happen. But it's got to happen one day, hasn't it? Yeah, so I'll probably have a catch up just before dark. Like I say, it's 7:30 now. I've got a couple of hours before dark. I'll remove all them, put them all on the spots where I've been feeding before dark, have a quick catch up, and then that'll be it till the morning. Quick catch up before dark. It's about 9:45 now. The wind has changed now. It's blowing southwesterly, maybe a bit more westerly. Can't really tell with all these trees around here. It's swirling about, but it's actually blowing into my bivvy now, so it's definitely moved a bit. Just hope the rain holds off, otherwise I'm going to get wet. I feel a little bit more confident than last night. Now I've got this bay to myself. There was lambs everywhere in here yesterday. I've kept mine. I'm back on these spots. The one just at the back of the tree here, and the one just before the weed bed. So it gives them a lot of space to move about when they do come into the bay. And then hopefully move towards me and move onto my bait. But that's the plan anyway. But shit to burst. Whether I go into a double figure blanks. See what happens. I was thinking early on when it was lashing down, and I couldn't be asked going out and getting piss wet food with my rods. I was thinking, if it doesn't happen tonight, I'll not bother putting this video up, but I'm having a think of fishing in it. That's what happens. You go, you're blank, and it's not been fishing its head off, has it? You know what I mean? There's quite a few been struggling. So if there was loads catching and I weren't, then I'd be worried then. But we'll see what happens anyway. I'll catch up in the morning if nothing happens through the night. Catch you later. Morning. Looking like a blank. It's about 7:30 now. Probably got another hour or so left. Sun has turned the big light on, so at least everything's looks like it's going to go away dry. There's quite a few black clouds knocking about, but I'll start to slow pack down now. Get everything away while it's dry. I'm away. I'm on my jollies in a couple of weeks, so I've only got one more session there before I go away, so I don't know whether make it 11 or try somewhere else and try and get a little bend in the rod before I go camping. I've already been 5 weeks camping. Anyway, thanks for watching. I know it's been another blank, but here's what it is, isn't it? See you later.